Okay, so in the last video we talked about how to create a basic relative link, say to go to a different HTML page. And in this video we're going to keep talking about relative links, but we're going to start talking about how to point to an image file. Okay, so on my home page, let's say I want an image. So I'm going to start typing my image tag, and images have an src attribute, and they are self-closing. Okay, so they don't go around text, right? They just are an image. So we put the little slash here to say that there's not going to be a closing tag. This is it. Now let's look at our Finder. So I've added an image folder. I always call my image folder img. Other people say images, whatever. But it is good practice to have a folder that you're going to have different kinds of files in, like images, just because at some point your site is going to get really large and you might have hundreds or thousands of images and 40, 50, 100 HTML files. So it's good to start to keep things organized. So I've got two images here, raccoon1.jpg, raccoon2.jpg, and let's say I want to point that image tag to raccoon1.jpg. So if I do this, save and reload my file. So to reload my file, we'll practice doing it. I'm just going to take my file from Finder and drag it to my web browser. All right, so this is a broken image. Okay, this is saying, well, I looked where you told me to, I didn't find the image. And that's because what we told it to do is stay where you are and find the file called raccoon1.jpg. So where are we? We're in index.html, we're in this column, and there's no file there called raccoon1.jpg. So what we need to do instead is say, from where you are, find the folder called image, go inside it and find raccoon1.jpg. So all we have to do is say, find the folder called image, go inside it, slash means go inside it, and find the file called raccoon1.jpg. So I've saved this file, I'm going to come back here, I'm going to refresh, and did I misspell raccoon? I did. All right, so being really careful with our file extensions, our file names, now we have a relative link that works. Later you'll see that we'll use this same kind of relative link for our style sheet. I know this seems really simple, but everyone messes this up. It will confuse you. It will cause you lots of headaches. But if you remember just where am I, where do I need to go, slash to go into the folder, you'll be fine. So let's finish talking about links and images really quick. So image tags have to have an src attribute. They also often need an alt attribute. So this is alt text, and this is used for, again, people who either have site problems, or it's also going to be used by search engines to better understand what is this a picture of, right? Search engines can't actually see for the most part. So an alt attribute is just a description of what is in the image. So I might put here a raccoon with its paws on a rock. Okay. It's good practice if you ever work for the government or for certain kinds of agencies. The ADA laws in the United States require that you make your website accessible, which means that we're going to include an alt attribute for any images that are not merely decorative. Okay, so for some reason, if I just wanted to put like a little squiggly here, think about, if I was a blind person, do I need to hear that there's a squiggly there, or is it more useful for me just to not hear about that? This is especially important if you ever have text on your images. In general, it's really bad practice. Don't have text actually as part of your image, but if you do, it becomes incredibly important that you include that text in the alt attribute. Now, last video, we talked a little bit about A tags or links. What we didn't talk about is that A tags have a title attribute that's optional. So if I put a title attribute, what it does is it creates the hover text here. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that people know where they're going if they click on this link. Okay, so About me basically describes where I'm going. So I would say the title attribute there is optional, but every now and then you'll have like, avoid it as much as you can, but click here. I want to know where here is and what here is going to show me. So in that case, I definitely want to include a title attribute that helps the user understand what's going to happen if I click on this. Okay,